land of Israel was the birthplace of the Jewish people, and Jewish history begins in Hebron. Hebron today is a city of contradictions. Lying 20 miles south of Jerusalem, 3,000 feet high in the Judean hills, its streets, monuments, hills, and alleyways span 4,000 years of diverse and often conflicting cultures. From the Jewish history of Abraham and the patriarchs to the first kingdom of David, the revolts against Greece and Rome, the Maccabees, Herod the Great, the Crusaders, Arabs, Turks, British, and finally again the Jews. Its grandest structure is also its most famous, the cave of Machpelah, the tombs of the patriarchs. Yet for all its busy activity, its Arab population of merchants and tradesmen, and its growing Jewish community, it retains a certain timeless quality, belying its turbulent past. Its plazas, streets, and narrow, dusty lanes echoing with the sounds of the past, the wail of the muezzin calling the Islamic faithful to prayer, the sense of thousands of years embedded in its stones, the haggling of the marketplace, the bray of a donkey, the sounds of Hebrew prayer. This is the crux of Hebron, whose past reaches into its present. The story of Hebron is an enduring love story, one of the most extraordinary in man's history. It begins nearly 4,000 years ago in ancient Sumer, Mesopotamia, with a nomad named Abraham. The Bible recounts how Abraham hears a divine voice commanding him to leave his home and cross into a new land, the land of Canaan, saying, "I will give unto thee and thy seed after thee all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession." Abraham's path takes him on a fateful 1,000-mile journey through the Fertile Crescent, along the rivers Tigris and Euphrates, in a great arc bounded by mountain ranges to the north and vast deserts to the south. Far away Hebron lay high in what would become the Judean hills, its pre-biblical landscapes virtually untouched by history, until the arrival of Abraham the Ivri. The word for Hebrew means standing apart, for so stood the man who would father the Jewish nation. And Genesis tells how Abraham moved his tent and dwelt by the plains of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Abraham and Sarah and their family settle in Hebron. Upon her death at the age of 127, Abraham buries Sarah in the cave of Machpelah, which he purchases together with a surrounding field from Ephron the Hittite for the handsome sum of 400 silver shekels. 38 years later, Abraham too is buried there beside his wife by his sons Isaac and Ishmael. Also buried there are their descendants, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Leah. Initially a burial site, became a holy place to the Jewish people and evolved into a vibrant and enduring center of Jewish life. The Muslims, descendants of Ishmael, also revere Abraham as their forefather, and after the Arab conquest of Palestine, assumed full control of the tombs of the patriarchs, converting the building to a mosque. During the Second Temple period, a large and elegant structure of massive Herodian stone was built over the tombs, and nearly all foreign conquerors have since added to the structure, including the Arabs. From 1266, Jews were forbidden to enter the building and pray at one of their holiest sites, on pain of death, being allowed to ascend only the outside stair as far as the 7th step, where they could insert their prayer petitions into a hole in the stones above the caves. In 1968, after the area was retaken by Israel in the Six-Day War, Jewish prayer was once again restored at the tombs of the patriarchs. Yechiel and his American-born wife Hannah and their 2 children live in Hebron's newest neighborhood on Crusader Hill, known as Tel Rumeda. Nestled at the foot of a large olive orchard, its 1,000-year-old trees stand like ancient guardians over Admot Yishai, as the area is called, the land and burial place of Jesse, father of King David. The pre-1929 Jewish community of Hebron owned the entire area. Long ago, Jewish children scampered through the olive orchards, picking the olives whose oil would illuminate Hebron's synagogues on the holiday of Lag BaOmer. Today, the olive orchard is owned by Arabs, and a mosque stands over Jesse's grave. But Admot Yishai resonates anew with the sound of the Hebrew language and the joyous voices of young children at play in the ancient olive groves.